let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom. You can not only have the treasures of God in your heart, but you need to have some wisdom along with it. And wisdom is the ability to use your knowledge. You know, to use it without making other people feel like, making them feel like they don't know nothing.
Right.
I got it all, but you ain't got nothing. No, if you make folks feel like that, you ain't got as much as you think you have. He said, in wisdom, teaching, and teaching can be a humble thing. Jesus taught his disciples not just by his word, but by his actions. The Bible said that just hours from his death, he girded himself with a towel. He took a basin of water and knelt down and washed his disciples' dirty feet. That's wisdom, and that is the ultimate expression of love, being able to teach someone with wisdom. Being able to condescend, being able to get down on a level so that you can serve other people. He said not only teaching, but admonishing one another. Sometimes you have to admonish one another. And admonishing is not a, you're going to use your hand, I'm going to use your hand. It's not snatching them around and pushing them around to make them do what you want to do. But admonishment means gentle leading, directing, guiding, gentle correction. Correction doesn't have to always be ugly. What happens, we let it get up. What's in our heart, we let it get up to here. I've had just about enough of you. And then we let them have it out of anger, out of bitterness. And God says, gently admonish them. Admonish means to correct and encourage them. He said, in psalms and hymns, most of the time, when most of us see this scripture and we see psalms and hymns and spiritual song and singing, we skip that scripture, we go on to the next one. Let me find something that applies to me because I don't sing. That's the secret. Trying, using what you have to glorify God. He didn't say nothing about a sweet noise. He said make a joyful noise. Use what you have. And you got to watch folks. Sometimes people don't mean to, but they lie a little bit. Because you ask them, do you sing? No, I can't sing. But the truth is, all of us got a little something. You may not sing like Whitney Houston. I don't know how she's singing nowadays. You may not sing like some of the big name stars. Now, even stars in the church. But you got to use what little you have. And when you take the little you got and put it with all God got, you can bring down the house. I wish I had somebody to help. He said, what he said is that our lives ought to be a walking meditation. As we walk with God, we ought to be humming and singing. Psalms means that I'm constantly elevating God with my voice. I'm singing or I'm humming a God song. I'm worshiping him as I walk and as I go through life. And the Bible said that we ought to be doing that. So psalms are praises, that personal praises where we're elevating God and thanking him for the things he does. One of the things that made David such a great man was not because he was great, not because he was good looking, not because he was a young man, not because he was king, not because he had all the wealth, but because he spent time giving personal praises to God. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And David did not write these things for an audience. Oh my God. Some folk can do well when they're in the crowd. When they got the crowd, they got the right kind of crowd and the right music. They fine, but when they are alone walking by themselves, they can't stand worth nothing. But David wrote these things in his private time with God. When he was shut out there with the sheep all by himself, nothing but darkness and wolves and bears and lions around. David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They prepare us a table before me in the presence of mine enemy. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And that's a personal thing. And he starts to talking about God. Thou art my rod and my staff. And before you long, he's talking to God.
All right.
When you give praise to God, you walk in his presence. You find that he's right there with you. Sister Sadie stood right here this morning. I know she didn't feel 100%. I can tell the way she walked. She didn't feel 100%. And she didn't feel like she was as prepared as she wanted to. But after she got through that scripture and began to expound and begin to encourage, pull a little bit, sometimes you have to, it's hard to get the needle through the fabric the first few times because your fingers may not be loosened up. But she began to pull that needle through, and after a while it got easy. Move back away from the podium. That's when you begin to walk with God and talk with him, and when it gets personal, you may not be able to expound upon all the these and thous and whys and wherefores of the Bible.
All right.
But you can give your testimony.
All right. Amen.
You can tell what it means to me. This is what God's been doing in my life through this word. Let me move on.